Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. Got the call yesterday that our seed was ready. So about 1:30 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I hopped in the truck and got out to the seed plant by 9:30. Got loaded up and came partially the way back last night and got here about noon. So got back to the farm about noon. So we got the 2390 hooked up, unhooked the manure spreader from it because I haven't got to even start that project yet, because the 1370, these tires have tubes in them, and the other Case tractor, that one over there, the tubes and tires are only 2 years old, and we had Firestones, but yeah, one tube in it rotted out or something, so that's kind of kicking the guts, but just one more project to the do list. So we had to hook up the 2390. I went ahead and my brother and we welded this metal bar, this piece, onto this piece, because this is gonna be our guide. So when you're going along in the tractor, as you can tell, it ends up right at the end of the drill, so you somewhat have a marker of where you're going. This isn't very high-tech stuff. All the new ones, of course, they got GPS and markers and all that fun stuff that requires big bucks to even play with. So my brother and we've been working on this here since I got home, as far as getting the tractor swapped around, getting this drug out of the weeds. Those boards sure do look nice on there, don't they? So he's going through and greasing it, and now I'm gonna pull it up to the top of the hill where I got the semi truck. We're gonna throw some seeds in one box so we can get the drills set up, because you gotta, to get the right seeding rate per acre, you gotta set these drills up. Well, you gotta set any drills up, but you gotta do this one manually harder. So that's what we're gonna do here after it gets greased up, is run up and set one of the drills, and then it takes math and figuring it out, but we'll get it. Before I start filling this up, folks, I want to let you know this is the seed box. We're going to fill this up, and these little gears down here, you see those, they turn, it's on a shaft, and that's what lets the seed fall through. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill that up. Folks, when my brother and uncle are down there greasing that up, I ran up the top of the hill here. So here's the seed that we got. Now there's different things on this trailer. The first stuff we're going to be seeding was for an 80-acre mix. This is going to be our chicken feed and hog feed. And what we have in there, we got forage oats, forage peas, hay barley, and spring triticale. That's what we got. There's a total of 6,400 pounds that we're going to be planting. So of that 80-acre mix. Then we got, for out there at the big hill where I'm going to be putting in that fencing, we've got 3,350 pounds of buckwheat and winter rye, a mixture. And also in that, because some guy backed out last year, also in that mix is going purple top turnip, daikon forage radish, brown flax, winter triticale, and lentils. And we're mixing, 1,500, well, actually it was 1,600 pounds of that, because we put it on the scale last night when I was there. So it's about 4,950 pounds of that mix that's going on that 100 acres. That what I call the big hill, where I'm going to be putting that fence around where I show y'all. That's what's going to be going out there. So I thought I'd just come up here, kind of on strap, get it ready. Earlier today, I went ahead when I got home, picked up the loader tractor, put the forks on the loader tractor. I know it seems we have a lot of equipment, and this regen thing is, you know, you really don't need all this equipment, supposedly, and you don't. And I'm not recommending people just go out and buy this, but you do got to remember that before my brother and I started this regen, the farm's income was solely on haying equipment. So, you know, that one case tractor, that was my uncle's. He bought it. I think he's the second owner of it, and he bought it when he was still farming back in the late 70s, early 80s, right there. So when you got two generations of people that are trying to make a farm go, you end up with equipment. Like I said, I went ahead and I threw the forks on here. I scored these for $100 last year. Someone upgraded their tractor and new forks and all that, so they were getting rid of these. Works good on the old Heston. And yeah, so what we're doing today is we're getting all this seed kind of ready to go. I don't know if we'll be able to do anything. By the time we get everything ready to go this afternoon, I don't think we won't be able to plant much. There's a possible thunderstorm tomorrow, so we might have to be out Wednesday, Thursday in the field. I keep getting put off here and there, but at least I got the seed here now, so we're getting everything ready. So when it does dry up again, if it does rain tomorrow, I'll get all this in the ground as quick as we possibly can. Which, you know, we're only talking 180 acres of seed for right now. I do have 10 acres of experiment for summer forage up there on top. That was just 150 pounds, so that isn't nothing big. But we'll go ahead and get this stuff on strapped. It takes both hands to do that, but get back to you in a little bit. Alrighty, folks, I went ahead and got the straps pulled off. Like I said, there's 3 bags right there. 1, 2, and 3. That's for the 10 acres. That's for the summer mix. That we'll see how that plays out here in a little bit. But I didn't get to look at none of the seed yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this one up a little bit and see what we got. This was all together when I got it. Picked up last night. So this is the first 80 acres of seed with the winter triticale, barley, the oats. I'm guessing that one there is an oat. So you got your pea, an oat, barley. This is the forager mix. I should have had that piece of paper with me. I can tell you there's barley in it. Just by the way my hand feels already. Yeah, so this is what's going in. This is going to be our chicken feed. Well, that's what's going to make our chicken feed. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bags. There's 4 bags for the 80 acres. And then the bag and a half of the of the rye and buckwheat, and then that other bag that we're gonna mix in with the rye and buckwheat. That we'll bucket mix that or whatever. He didn't get a chance to go ahead and mix it together for us, so that's what that'll be. So yeah, this is a first look at our seed and what we're gonna be planting here. Hopefully it'll do us good. All right, everybody. Well, this is ready to go up to the top of the hill, so that's what we're gonna do right now. My brother's coming up with the pickup and a bucket for the seed and sandwich bag, so we'll tell everybody how to do that. Guess the only good thing about the other tractor getting that flat is that the AC actually works on this one a little bit. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna ride up the hill. And we're gonna get to be where we can get some seed in the ground. Look how tall some of this grass is getting out there. Wouldn't hardly believe that's where the sheep were at, would you? They're right there. A lot of this ground, that's already surprising how quickly it's eliminated, where the sheep, where you really can't even tell that they were there. Like this right ahead of us here, if there wasn't that little bit of hay out there, that brown, that you'd see the hay, you wouldn't even be able to tell that there'd been animals there this spring. Because it's just as tall as everywhere else. So we're bringing the drills along. Looks like everything's going along like it's supposed to. So, yeah. Now it becomes a math problem. So many feet, so many pounds of seed put out to where we can get worked out so it's the right seeding rate. Now that's, I'm not gonna lie, that's more in my brother's department on what that all entails. But you also got to bear with us a little bit because this is only our third time putting in seed in the ground. So we are definitely not professionals at this yet, anyhow. But we'll get up here on this flat where we can actually get some straightaway, get some straights going, and do it up here before we head out back with it. So yeah, sure is a gorgeous day in central Montana. Alfalfa is growing. Like I had the sheep. No, I didn't have sheep right there this year. Close, but not in that spot. So, and that the well house coulee right over there. Oh, that's gorgeous in there. Now that I've got those sheep ran across that, and the good rains we've been having, it is gorgeous. I'm thinking I'm going to be rotating the milk cow across that. She should last a pretty good amount of time across that. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to come up here. I'm probably going to park the tractor out here somewhere like this where I can get turned around. We'll grab that seed off the truck and we'll fill up the one box. So I reckon I'll park right here. Yeah, the AC's working. We'll get this one bag unloaded. I almost wish you would have left those down. We had some run-ins with those last year when we was trying to do some mixes. It was not a good year for the heads last year. Joy, he can't see me. Gotta do this carefully. And just like that. we'll take the seed over to the tractor. So from where it's parked to where I got that strap on the ground is 91 yards. And that's, guess that he said that's our measurement we need to, our distance we need to go with. So I'm gonna hop on the 4-wheeler and go back to the tractor. And we gotta put some rubber bands on where the seed falls out of the boxes to where it falls into the ground. We're gonna put some sandwich bags down and catch that, and then we gotta go weigh that seed. Okay folks, so here we go. We're gonna be trying this. We're trying to get 80 pounds to the acre down. So we're doing right now, we're testing at a 20th of an acre. We should get 4 pounds in this 91 yards to get our right settings. Reset. There we go. See how it's just falling out of the cups right there? Filling up the baggies. Looks like all the cups are open. As you can tell, we're getting, I can see seed in all the bags without getting in the way of the machinery. You don't want to be walking out there, especially walking backwards. So it's what you call a double disc drill. There's 2 discs right there that cut the ground, and this little packer wheel supposedly fills it in. You're not going across the gravel pit. So now that, see, he's gonna get to that strap and he's gonna stop. And we're gonna have to go weigh. Now we gotta go take all these little baggies off and go see if we ended up at 4 pounds. Uh-oh. This cup, it's all there anyway. We'll have to clean out the cups, it looks like. My brothers got back, said the weight was good. So we are gonna go ahead and travel to where the seeder's at, up ahead of us. Take the park brake off. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill up that other side box because we see, so we just did the baggies on the one side and then we just take measurements on the other side and we even up and we make a match, and then we're good to go here. We'll load up the drills and we'll head out back with it. I was just informed my brother put the sheep kind of in a lighter area today, so they didn't have as much forage, so probably gonna go water them and move them for the night, and probably won't put no seed in the ground till first thing in the morning. But you know, it's always this is like everything, it's the getting set up and ready to do it, and it takes so long to get everything adjusted and going. I need to go empty out my Chevy bale bed, the bale bed pickup, because it's a flatbed, so I'm going to be pulling these putting these bags out on it, and we'll be going from there. So, alright, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and fill up this other side and talk to you in a bit. Boss man says I'm heading out back to put a little seed in the ground, so I'm not going to argue with him. That's what we shall do. So I'm making my way out back. Out here, this is where that 100 acres is going to be put. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of green alfalfa popped up. It's doing all right, but as like right back there on that hilltop, you can see it's brown. There's a lot of dirt. You kind of look down, there's a lot of dirt out there. So that's why we're going to put in that rye and that buckwheat and that purple top turnip, the daikon radish, the flax, and the winter triticale. That's all going out here on this 100. But today, first we got to plan out this 80, and that's going to be for the chicken feed. Just on the quick math, my brother's done it. Even if we get, what do you say? If we get 10 bushels to the acre, that's going to save us, you figured that'd be $16,000 worth of chicken feed of what we've been buying, because we buy all organic stuff. I don't believe we spend that much a year on it. But that's what it would, that's what it equal to if we even get just 10 bushels an acre. So that's why we're experimenting with it, right? Because really 10 bushels an acre is nothing. I mean, shouldn't be too hard to get. Hopefully, God willing, anyway. So there's a lot of plants growing out there. I'm not completely sure what some of those. There's some awful broadleaf looking plants down in there, and I'm not sure what they are, folks. Those right there, that ain't alfalfa. Did we get a cover crop on it? No, we didn't get the cover crop seeds on this. Should be no plantain or nothing out there. Huh, well, God's letting something grow green. I'll have to talk to my brother about that, because those plants right there are not alfalfa. They could be possibly just a weed that popped up, but nah, that's too thick for just a weed. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. See, folks, that's why you come out. It's why you always look at your fields and your pastures. Like out here, I know that's just brome grass and alfalfa. I haven't touched that. I know what that is, and I know what it's going to do, and not a whole lot of nothing. Out here, I'm very excited to see what's coming up and working. But we did not plant no cover crop on that, so we planted our grass seed and our alfalfa seed in there, but I don't believe there's any broadleaves in with that. There's definitely some broadleaves right there. Maybe they planted that strip along the road right there or something with it to run the seed out. I'm not sure. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, like I say, we're just working our way out here at about 3 miles an hour. Enjoying the grass, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying how green it is. There's no, as you can tell, this is going to be part of where I'm getting the sheep. So even right here, as part of that 100, I'm going to plant, this side of the coulee over here is not getting planted. Just from this green, that away, back towards the hill, that's what's going to be planted. That is, however, going to get fenced in. I'll show you where the one end fence is going to be put in. But, yeah, it's very exciting to see what's happening and going on. Hoping, we get more grass. I mean, it's a wet year, and that stuff grew that tall last year, so as you can tell, that's pretty tall, dead stuff out there. Hopeful to get it this year again. Now this field up here, this one right here, this one was kind of curious last year. Back when my uncle put the place in CRP, it was a government program, they had him put sweet clover in with his mix, and we've never planted sweet clover since then. But all this brown out there that you see, last year, all the alfalfa and our grass mix only grew about 8 inches tall just because of the grasshoppers and the drought. But this whole field was yellow, like we just planted a monocrop of sweet clover. It was kind of cool. You go by, you hear all the bees buzzing in there. And it was weird too though, because like I said, that was not in our mix. And it just picked that year to grow, and it covered the whole field. So it gave a chance for this grass and alfalfa it's all pretty solid out there, pretty even across. So I'm very curious and anxious to see what this one's going to do this year. So anyway, so this corner right here, this is going to be my northeast corner of that 170 that I'm going to plant off of that wood post right there. It's what I'm going to fence in. So there's going to be a fence heading straight that direction, and then that way around the big hill, and then that'll be the 170 that all gets planted all the way up to that hill. Should be very interesting. So hey, look at that, might get a little rain tonight, so I might see how this goes. Hopefully I can get some in the ground. I'm gonna do a little 5-acre thing here. I think it's just that right there, so I'll get back with you when we're going. It took us a little bit to get the depth set for where we wanted to seed, but we're finally rolling here tonight. This is sorry for the noise, this chair is a little wore out. This thing, she ain't the smoothest ride anymore, but she gets the job done that she paid for. So you can kind of tell it gets fairly hard to see the seed. That's where I've been. This is my third time around. You can kind of tell the grooves there, and that's why that chain's out there. You know, it's my gauge. But with this being a cover crop, you know, I try to watch as close as I can. You know, I don't want to overseed, because then I won't be able to cover all the acres I got. But I'm not necessarily too terribly scared of getting some skips either. That's where regular farmers would argue the point. If you get a skip, you know, you're not at your full potential. And that's true, you're not. But everybody's full potential is different. So, like, well, look what I'm planting into. See, this is where I'm planting my chicken feed, and it's probably it might bite me in the butt. Some of this alfalfa might grow up tall enough that, you know, I don't get a very good stand down here on this little bit. But if I don't, or if I can't harvest it, at least there's gonna be something else growing to fill in the spots to hopefully help the alfalfa take off next year. So, I mean, that's kind of our goal here, is to always just kind of keep something growing as long as possible. So I'm not going to come out here and spray it down just for people, just to, you know, plant something else in. I'm not going to do that. And I can't do proper corners and field etiquette on this little jog leg thing anyway, so don't get too upset with how I'm doing my corners. But that, you know, that's why modern technology, they all got the GPSs and all that. But quite honestly, you know, a modern farmer would look at this little place where I'm putting value in. They wouldn't see no value in it, because if they'd come down here with their one machine, make 2 passes and have to get off, and it wouldn't be worth their time. So, whereas I'm planning on, you know, this is going to be winter chicken feed for the year. Hopefully cover us all the way up until we harvest something again next year. This 80 acres, not just this little field. But that's what I'm doing tonight now. I'm just going to try to get this bombed out as good as I can. Like I said, this old tractor, she's not the smoothest rider, but, you know, she's paid for. She'll get the job done. That's what we're all about, you know, getting the job done. So, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, hey, we're laying seed down and going in circles. So, I went ahead and got that little field finished last night, but when I tried to plant into some of the sod over there, the ground's already too hard to do that. So I gotta wait to do that until we get some rain on it. So my brother and uncle and I, we switched the drills back over to where we could plant the other cover crop instead of the chicken feed. And that's just took us a while to get that done, but I'm finally out here doing my first outside pass. Gonna be going in circles all day, but hopefully getting some in the ground. Rolling along. See, this stuff was worked up. The drills won't go into where I hadn't worked it before because it's so hard at the moment that I need to wait until after good rain, which where I'm planning on planting anyway, it can rain. I'm not going to get stuck out there. So now this, on the other hand, on this field, there's some spots I'm a little concerned with. One of them's coming up right now. But I'm thinking we should be okay. Tires are getting a little moist there, but not too wet. So this is the outside round that'll bite me in the butt. This is where I knew if it rained on me, I couldn't be doing this field. So I went ahead and decided to switch everything over we did to get seed in the ground, and hopefully we won't get stuck out here. If I do, you know, we'll pull it out with equipment. That's just lost time, and that's something we don't want to. I don't want to do now. I want to start rolling and keep going with it. So as you can tell, some of that alfalfa out there is coming in big plants, doing pretty nice, and then, you know, everything else is really slow. It really needs this cover on it. So should do good, this rye and buckwheat in here and all those other things. It'll make it very good for the well, it'll be some awesome late summer forage for the sheep and those cows. Plus it'll be very good for the bugs, you know, the beneficials that are on the ground, and hopefully start establishing more of those, because of course after you plow it up, not that there was any out here to begin with, but for dang sure it wasn't after we did plowed it up. So, but there's some grass out there is trying. Just be planting covers here probably. I'm probably going to try to plant covers in different sections of the place all the time. I know Greg Judy and them, he only plants stuff when he gets a new field, which is, I mean, it's working for him. That's great. I want to try to keep planting stuff all the time, even if the field's doing okay. I think I want to just always experiment with different you know, biodiversity and different things, and seeing what it'll do. So like I say, just doing the outside rounds here. Out there, it's kind of a marsh kind of area. It's funny for me to say that in a dry land area, but it really is. You can't farm out in that, so the sheep will enjoy. Well, I don't know how much they'll enjoy it after coming off this alfalfa, but they'll be out there this summer too, and eating on that and spreading some of that their fertilizer around on that too, because this ground out there, that's just all stagnant kind of stuff. But yeah, there's good cover down on the ground from years of just nothing eating it, but it hasn't improved nothing. So I'll just give you a quick update. This is day 2 of putting in the seed. It feels good to finally be rolling on it. We went ahead and moved the sheep this morning, the puppies. And you know, back in my brain, it's killing me to drive over these gorgeous alfalfa plants. It really is. But yet, in the same process, you can see all that dirt out there. you know, I got to get some cover on that and get that covered in. So a little bit of, you know, driving on it now, it'll pay for itself in the future as long as we keep getting our rains. And I don't come out here and hay it down a year after year and take all the good stuff I'm doing to the ground out of it. I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm gonna have to be putting up some hay yet, but I'm gonna be very picky about where my fields are and which ones I use for that purpose. Just like I said before, because we live so far north, at the moment we always need hay, especially, you know, until we get the ground built up. And even then, you know, we'll want that. Personally, I would love to have 3 years worth of hay feed on the ground in the wintertime, just because up here you never know. You just absolutely never know how much feed you're going to need in the wintertime. So, well, I'll keep going in a circle here, and if I think of something else or see something to point out to y'all, I'll record it. Alrighty, folks. Been getting a little bit of rain here the last couple evenings, so I've had to be tarping up my seed. Kind of running into some complications with doing this process, but we're trying to work it out here. Our drill for our rye mix and our cover crop mix is just fine. You know, what I'm planting out there is just fine. It's sending the seed deep enough. For our forager mix, however, it's not putting it in the ground as deep as it needs to be. So we're trying to figure out what we need to do. Sorry, trying to get this on bungeed here while I'm talking to you. Trying to figure out what we need to do here to get the seed in the ground so it'll work, to even try the experiment. Because, you know, this is all just an experiment of what we're trying to do here to the place. And so far, we're hitting struggles, but I believe, well, as you can see where the tractor is right now, that's a field I was not going to be planting. That was not in the cards to do. It is one of the fields I had worked up to work that weed out of, so the ground is softer than like out here. This is where I was going to plant my cover crop seed, was out here on this field, but it hasn't been worked up, and my drills won't put the seed in the ground that far. So I had to go put it over there, and even thinking about going out and putting it on that 40 where I said I was going to have the 10 acres of that experiment seed out there, just because that's another piece that was worked up. But like I say, I'm trying to figure it all out. It's not working the best here for us at the moment, but that's what, you know, it's kind of all about, is adapting and changing your thoughts and adapting to try to get the best outcome you possibly can. You know, you talk to a conventional farmer or something, you need an expensive no-till drill, which you do, but we're trying to do stuff with the old equipment we got, because, you know, for the most part it's working. Except now with this, the seed, because they got to go 1.5 inches in the ground, the peas. And that's too far for our drill to be able to push into the non-worked sod. But anyway, so the game plan now. I'm going to finish that field where the tractor's at. I need to go to the neighbors and borrow their roller, so I can roll it to push the seed a little bit further on the ground, or at least get it covered good. And then I'm going to have to do something with that tall standing stuff. Now, I don't want to remove none of that material that's out there. but because I'm planting that like peas and you know, that forage in there with it, the alfalfa can't be as tall and nice as it actually is out there. So I'm gonna have to do something with that. Not completely sure what I can do with that, because I can't, obviously I can't put no animals out there this quickly. My sheep won't be able to get through that fast enough. I got no fences out here yet to have neighbors' cows run out across it. So it's got to be mechanical. And I'm not exactly positive what I'm doing with that yet. No chores out here, so she's going back to the sheep in the house. She always does that. She's never liked to be out here. She thought I was coming to the sheep, so she's given up on me. Anyway, alright. So yeah, anyway, as you can tell, I kind of got a little wet last night out here, but part of the game, I guess. Really kind of sucks this old equipment can't put it in the ground that way, but in the same sentence, I mean, there's a reason people have had to do what they had to do for the ground. When they did it, you know, it's how it works. So, anyhow, I had to get the seed transferred over here, get the tractor warming up, and then my brother wants some help taking down the poly in the sheep pen, because for some reason the sheep have decided now they don't want to, they're not trusting the poly to hold them in, they're just kind of bombing through it. So don't know what I'm gonna have to do with that at the moment. Everything here is once. This is the sheep are priority one, but this is a very close second at the moment. So I'm gonna get some of the seed transferred over. Alright folks, got the one side filled up. Be nice if a person could breathe right now, but it looks so hazy because that's all smoke from up in Alberta, Canada. They got a lot of wildfires happening up there right now. I think I heard like 91 going at the moment. It's awful early for wildfires. This smoke's been a pretty common thing here the last 3 years, where all you see is the haze and all the smoke. Everybody's a smoker by the time it's July out here, seems like. These ways, that's what it feels like on your lungs, I reckon. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this other box filled up. As you can tell, yeah, that one's ready. I had to fill up the other one, get out the crescent wrench, turn them to make sure that they're all loose and no moisture, nothing got sticky in there on them. And then I'll be ready to finish off this this field I'm on. Up here it don't look so bad. As far as, I don't feel too bad about this alfalfa and running through it, because you can see there's a lot of dirt. So it's not that it didn't need something in it. I just wasn't planning on doing this on this field. And like I say, I'm gonna have to yeah, it's kind of going against my, after being a person in hay production for like 14 years and wanting everything green and growing, I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna have to mow it down with a mower. That's yeah, it's a little hard to get my mind wrapped around at the moment, but that's what I was thinking out there too on that one, is if I mow it, it's gonna leave the material there, the carbon there. It'll put it down on the ground as long as the wind don't come up and blow it all away. It'll help the seed, so the alfalfa that's out there is not shading out the seed, and it'll help the grass and alfalfa stay in its growing stage longer. So when I get the sheep out there, they won't all be seeded out, and it'll still be green out there. And so that's what I think. My brother and I have been talking about it and trying to wrap our brains around mowing it down, but I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Especially out here on this field with this forage and the oats and stuff, I'm gonna have to come out here and I'm gonna roll it first to make sure the seed gets in the ground better, and then I'm gonna have to mow it down, I think, so it'll all get a good start. But so yeah, you know, you make a plan and God kind of laughs, but that's why we're experimenting here with this old drill and stuff. It's like I say, out there on that stuff, it's working just fine for that. Got no problems putting in the seed out there, other than it you know, it rained, so it got a little too wet for me to be out there. But I was hoping that with the moisture in the ground, that the unplowed up fields, that this disc would work and sink it in. It's just not doing that, so that's why I'm out here on this one, putting it in the ground as much as I can, then rolling it. Gonna have to mow it, so we're gonna end up mowing this field, gonna end up mowing that field, and then I still got like 50 acres of this stuff to get in the ground somewhere, and I haven't really decided what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in storage. The problem is I really don't have a mouse-proof area to store anything, so you know, they'll be eating it. Or my other option is to put it out on that 40 where I first had the sheep, and where I was going to plan on planting that 10 acres of that summer mix. So haven't really got that far yet in the process, trying to do it here one day at a time, but I gotta get this other box filled up. So now I'm finally warming up the tractor so I can finish putting the seed in the ground that we're doing. We decided to, as far as I know at the moment, we decided to store those oats and the peas because we just can't get them in the ground good enough. So I've got this hill, I got all this planted. Right now I'm just gonna go ahead and empty out my boxes on like some of the thistle patches, and then out there on mine where I was gonna unroll the hay and never got to it yet, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the boxes off out there. It's been a long day already. It's been one of those days. So off to a very bad start on lambing. We've had one ewe had 2 stillborns that we had to pull because they were just, I don't know, they were twisted up or something in there. She wasn't getting it. We had to pull them to keep the ewe alive, so hopefully she'll pull through. It was an older ewe, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I'll give an update on her here later if she makes it or not. I'll let you all know. But I guess so far I'm down 1 ram lamb and 1 ewe lamb. She was gonna have twins, but both were stillborn, so yeah, off to a good start on lambing. She was about 10 days early. I don't know if that was part of the problem or what. I don't know. The other ones, everybody else is looking good and healthy and happy, so lambing's gonna start up here. Well, I mean, I guess kind of already did. We just gotta watch them now. So I'm running poly wire between the nets, inside the net, kind of splitting the herd up and having one puppy on each side. That way it's only one dog if a ewe does, you know, have a lamb when I haven't been able to check on her. Of course, you know, they're just right over the hill there that pickup went, so you go back and forth quite a bit, check on her. But like I said, I was just letting the tractor warm up here and letting the AC catch up. It's a plenty warm day out here, but all the smoke from Alberta is still prevalent. But all in all, I mean, it's another day. I'm almost done seeding here, so I'll be able to unhook the seeder and get on to something else. My brother went and borrowed the neighbor's tractor and roller, so we rolled where we planted the oats on that field and the one further over. So that's all rolled and that'll be done. I'm not gonna roll this out here just because I don't want to kill all the little young tender alfalfa plants out there. I'm thinking I'm gonna borrow a mower and put it down on the ground. That way it'll let the seeds that I'm planting here, give them a chance to shoot up. I'm not gonna kill the young alfalfa, and it might even be able to help the young alfalfa catch up a little bit too if I knock out these big ones, which will be shading them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and mow it. It's gonna keep the grasses and stuff more, it's gonna keep them from going to seed, so they'll be able to, once I get sheep out here, once this other cover grit's going good, they'll have some really good stuff to eat on. So, but just giving you all a quick update. And like I said, gonna finish putting the seed in the ground and go from there.